And just like that, I'm back with another video. This time it's Mutant Crawl Classics Adventure Incursion of the Ultradimension. This is a level 2 adventure by Michael Curtis. I'll be spoiling this adventure. Check out this awesome cover here by Doug Kovacs. I really dig it. I just really like the way it looks. I don't know. There's something about it. I mean, his colors, the way he does colors is just cool. And yeah, I think it's a very cool visual of the main dungeon that you're going to be exploring in this adventure. So here's the back right here. And it says, it rises silent, ancient, and ominous from the depths of the monster sea. Sometimes that's monster ocean written in there, but it's okay. A curious relic of the ancient ones, long forgotten beneath the waves. Then, without warning, alien creatures never before seen on Ttrpg spill forth and ravage the land. This is the Retreat of Delirium, home of strange super science and creatures not of this world. What fiendish plans do they have in store for the rad-blasted world of Mutant Crawl Classics? Venture through the retreat's glowing door and discover what awaits beyond. Here is that glowing door. So let's take a look at it. Nothing on the inside cover. It's all well and good. Got a cool piece of art right here. And this is a piece of art where you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. As you're reading the adventure, you'll be like, oh, I think that's what that first piece of art is depicting. So let me go back there and take a look at that, and I'll show that to my players. Very cool. And once again, this is a great Michael Curtis adventure. Now I've got to say, the background of it reminds me very much of this little game that you may not be aware of. It kind of went underneath everybody's radar. It's called Half-Life. Now that is, of course, a joke, because some people will be like, haha, you've never heard of Half-Life? You're an idiot. So it's a place, an organization. It's called the Athena Project. These facilities, and there's several installations, and they were doing experiments before the Great Disaster happened. And what they did was, in this place here, the Retreat of Delirium, they ripped open a hole to another dimension, and then strange creatures poured through. Well, the Great Disaster happened. It kind of locked itself down, and it sunk to underneath the waters, and every once in a while, it comes back up. So when I was reading that, I was like, wow, it's kind of like Half-Life, where you've got an installation, they're doing some funky projects, and they unleash hell, and you've now got to take care of their problem. So it starts off with you possibly coming to this village, and the village is called Glass House. It's spelled Glazhaus. I like that. So you spend the day there, then all of a sudden people start running forward saying there's a huge wave coming. And what's happened is the Retreat of Delirium has resurfaced once more, causing a huge tidal wave that comes in. You've got to scamper up these strange trees here. You better do that or you're going to be killed by the wave. And you're like, wow, that's really tough. The water comes in and destroys a lot of stuff. All the villagers are trying to hold on to it. And then once you think it's all said and done, these strange bubble creatures show up and start blasting people and turning people's skin to melted wax, pretty much. So that's what this whole first scene is. It's pretty good because it's going to start you off right away. You're not traveling anywhere. You're already there, and the action immediately starts happening. It's not just like, hey, we're the tribal elders, and we want you to go get this thing, or something's happened, go get it. It starts you off right in the middle of the action. And then this leader here, this lady, she's going to tell you, hey, these things have happened, but this has happened before, and it usually is because this place is shown back up. Can you go and stop it, in essence? So you are going to have to fight those. They're called bulbous extradimensional menaces. These bubble things, they definitely remind me of some H.P. Lovecraft type stuff. If you know anything about some of that, it might be a little bit familiar to you. They're really nasty, and that beam is really nasty as well, as it's going to try to melt your flesh like that dude who took it on the chin. And it's pretty cool here. You can ask some questions and stuff. You'll know a little bit more about what happened in the past when this has happened before. And they're going to give you some stuff, a little bit of help with a powerful artifact for you and your group. If you go and do that, it's a meta pack with 6 uses. And that's going to be a good thing to help you because you're going to need to heal up in this adventure. So then you're going to travel to the island. And you can have an encounter on the way there if you want, but because of the wave, it's kind of cleared everything out, so that's not too bad. You're going to get up, maybe find some canoes, and then go out. You'll see it kind of in the distance, and then you'll travel to it. to the Retreat of Delirium. It's on the cover right here. And you get there, there'll be a door that's open, and then what we're going to have is a really great dungeon crawl. It's a little bit weird, but not too weird. You're going to have some generic rooms. Some of them they're generic, so you'll see a lot of like G's and G1s, G through G5s, but some of them are a little bit unique. It tells you the general features of the place. There are some prowling mutations, pretty much some of the creatures there that have come through this portal now, and you may come across them, and you're going to have to, of course, fight them because they're pretty nasty. One thing about the place is that time is different in there. Once you emerge from the retreat, you're going to roll a 1d6, and it could be maybe a couple minutes, could be an hour, 12 hours, a day, a week, or maybe a month after, you just went in, you came back out, and it's been a month. So that's weird. Then the other thing you need to really understand, and I'm going to go ahead and just jump to the map, which again, the map is in the middle. Here is the map of the Realm of Delirium. I'm sorry, the Retreat of Delirium. I got that incorrect. And there's those bubble. This guy's taking it really hard right there as he's climbed up this tree. But you've got this sector map. And so what it is the way this is laid out, reality has kind of been shifted and messed around with. So you're going to have like 1-5 there. And of course, that's going to meet you up there. So you'll go 5-3. So 5 goes to 3. And that's going to take you here, I believe. And so you're going to have to kind of follow this. And they kind of give you this little sector map here to help you. I kind of wish it was on a die, but that wouldn't really make sense either. This is not exactly the way that most die D6s that I have kind of work out, but it's fine. This is very easy to understand. You can see 3 goes to 6 right here. So, yeah, right there. 6 goes to 3. 3 to 4. 4 to 3, stuff like that. It's very easy to figure out how this moves. So your players, they're not going to really understand that. They can just continuously keep going right here. And just keep going and going. 2 to 5. It's going to take them here. We're right here. And then they're going to go to cross 5 to 4. They're going to get kind of jumbled up. And this is actually the entrance here at 1-1. It's the doorway kind of opens up into the middle of this room. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just explore. And this is a lot of rooms if you look at this map. Okay, you're going to explore a bunch of this stuff. And you do have a lot of similar rooms. You see here like 2-2, 2-2, and then like all the G's, G1, here's G3, G4, whole bunch of those. So kind of, repetitious in that regard. There is a legend here. 1 square is 5 feet, but there is a legend, and I don't know how helpful that is. I guess it's helpful to a degree. Some of this stuff, it doesn't really matter. You can see where it's called the Incursion is in it. And what that is like it's where their dimension is starting to pour over and change your dimension, in essence. So let's head on back to where we were. And you're going to start with the entry area. You're going to keep going around. You're going to find maybe some of like the infant versions of those bulbous extra-dimensional menaces. This creature here, you're going to come across, and this has got a description. I still would love to have a piece of art for this, because I think this is a little bit, it's very detailed, but I still can't really put my head around exactly the way it looks. These are very kind of strange creatures, they're almost kind of lobster insect-like. So that's kind of the way that it's kind of going with them. So you'll keep going. There's some good description. I said Michael Curtis always does some really cool, real thought out dungeon crawls. You've got this in the back. You're going to have, as we go to the appendix here, you're going to have this where you can roll up random room occupant and roaming mutants or random room loot items. So that's pretty helpful. But once again, unfortunately with this Mutant Crawl Classics, we've got stuff like this. It says table T1 is also used to determine the creatures. Well, I wish this was labeled Table 2-1, we've seen this with some of the other adventures. It's obviously some sort of miscommunication between the writing and these sections here when they were made. It doesn't say Table 2-2 down here for random room loot items. So just, unfortunately, that right there as well. So we've been seeing that, and hopefully it won't continue to just constantly do that with every adventure. Or if it does, at least, hey, you'll know to look for it. So you're going to look around. There's a really cool room that you're going to go into, and the cerebral network is still in this room, and it's going to immediately kind of like cram information into your head. And that's actually kind of neat because it's actually going to help you. It might be like part of the sector. It's going to be maybe the location of the retreat's mainframe or the generators or the breach lab. So it's going to just like put in a little bit of knowledge into your head that you're actually going to be, it's going to be pretty helpful for you. Now, it might be confusing to your character because you'll be like, I don't really know where this is, but that'd be a cool way to describe that to them, to be like, you go ahead and just tell them what the breach lab looks like, and they're not going to really know exactly, what's going on with it or whatever, but it does say the location of the breach lab. So Maybe it's like, you kind of know it. You get a sense of where it is. You may not know exactly what its function is, though, because of the way your brain works. There is an employee locker contents table here that you can roll up and maybe find some stuff. There's not a whole bunch of like super technology in this place that's going to try to kill you. A lot of it is just being changed to their dimension. There's an atrium that's got these leech snakes. Pretty cool piece of art here. They look pretty nasty. So they're obviously very, very alien in design. So they're going to try to kill you. There is a good bit of encounters. And of course, whenever you roll up the random thing, it's going to be pretty neat to see what's going to come around the corner. This is an interesting infection that may turn your skin like a bunch of circuitry. There are a couple things in here that, like, long term will kill you. In fact, there's one I know in particular that if it happens to you, you'll get cancer and you'll die some point in the future. So that's pretty bad. So you're going to go around and you're going to find some different creatures. There's some things here called surrogates. It's a way that they kind of spawn. It says there's creatures called ultroids, and they're going to be kind of like your main enemy of this dimension, and you're going to see them right here. And they look pretty cool. They look kind of weird bug, lobster-looking things. It says they got 6-foot-long, 9-legged creatures, so moon-shaped heads, and they have these little feelers and stuff that they use for like sensory type of organs that they've got in their body. So that's kind of cool. But it's just neat in which this may happen to you, and this may turn your skin look like a bunch of circuitry. So some neat things that you're going to come across. There is a good bit of items that you're going to be able to find, some cool technology and artifacts of the ancients that you'll be able to use. This thing is kind of neat here, this information display. It's pretty much going to be like a map to show you where stuff is. You can kind of interact with it as well. That's going to be helpful. Then we've got our great map, once again, that you've seen. I think it's going to be very helpful to you. Very easy. I like the way it looks. And it's going to explain to you again how these kind of work, 2 to 5 and 3 to 5 and so on and so forth. It's not exactly a normal building, of course. And then as you start getting into the further areas, it's going to get more and more change to their dimension. It has a different look. There's like these moats that float in the air. Stuff's starting to be kind of morphed and changed into their organic dimension feel to them. So that's going to be cool to kind of describe. And you'll see that there on the map. This stuff here is going to be the Incursion. And it's going to really change some stuff around. Here in 3.5 is going to be pretty much the doorway, the gateway to their dimension. And you're going to need to find out how to shut down the generator that helps this thing stay open. And that's going to be kind of like your goal for the adventure. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. We've got something we're going to figure out. And it's going to explain it to you pretty well. There's some generators and a generator control room. You can try to make some checks and stuff to shut it down. And all the while, checking out other rooms, workshops, conduit rooms. A lot of these have really changed, of course, in the way they look. There's a greenhouse. And then this is a cool thing here, a message from the past. It's pretty much a hologram of someone who died. And this is going to be where it's going to tell you your exposition scene. And it's going to be a recording of the guy who died. And he's going to really break down what they did. Now, there could be some issues when it comes to whether or not your characters understand kind of like the ancient language. And so hopefully they do, the ancient tongue. And because that's really going to tell you more about the history of this place and what happened, how they messed up and they opened up this portal and everybody started getting killed, and that's not good. There's also I guess they're called gippies. They are, in essence, guinea pigs, laboratory guinea pigs, somehow survived and were forever altered by the weird ultradimensional energies that flowed through the lab when the breach opened. They use one of the rooms as a lair. Here they are here. And you would think when I saw this picture, I said, oh, they're going to be adversaries. You're going to have, it's going to be another group you're going to fight. But they're not, even though they're 7 feet tall. You can possibly interact with them, and you can, parlay with them and get some information from them. This is all they kind of know because they were formed and they've kind of been stuck in this retreat of delirium here. They do some scavenging here and there for food. There is a couple of weird, things you could possibly eat, but they're of the other dimension. And so eating those should come with a disclaimer. Maybe don't do that. It might kill you. There are some robots, but they're not very nasty to you. They do have some alien parasites on them. So as the robots go by, the alien parasites will try to kill you. They have like a lightning attack. So the robots aren't really your foes, but the alien parasites that are on the robots are. So there's a lot of stuff that's like changed, the way that things are. It's grabbed onto them and is starting to alter their bodies. It's going to all end in their big kind of boss room when you're going to fight. You're going to fight this infected AI. And this whole room's got a whole bunch of, really changed environment the way it is here. There's like this slime on the ground, and this AI is going to kind of go crazy and going to try to kill you in this jail pool. It's actually the images of a hard light hologram depicting a pleasant, seemingly grandmotherly, pure strain human of African heritage. But as you start to do something, it's all been a ruse, and she's going to kind of do like that old lady in Ghostbusters and go crazy. These freaks are going to try to kill you, these ultra-dimensional raptor mantises, and they're kind of a new type of enemy to fight as well. You'll be fighting them. You'll be fighting in this jail pool, fighting the infected AI. Hard hologram there, hard light hologram. It's going to be a nasty battle, but it's going to be pretty cinematic. And it should be pretty cool. She's going to be trying to electrocute the jail to electrocute you, so that's detrimental to you. And then you're going to figure out how to close the portal. It's going to explain all that to you. And then, of course, you're going to have your big fleeing scene where you're going to be running out of the place. The place is starting to crumble down because the retreat of Delirium is starting to go back underneath the water. So you have a certain amount of time to be able to get out of this place. Hopefully you'll figure out how to get back, because it's, again, the strange layout of the way that the dungeon did. You will have kind of stuff going on, and it's going to be real, pandemonium and panic as you try to make it to the nearest exit and get out. And of course, if you don't, you'll be killed. And then, ending the adventure, if you do it correctly and get back, you will probably be heralded as a great person if you're staying there, or if you're just passing through from the Glass House Village. They're going to be very happy, of course, that you saved the day and give you a reward. And then we've got an appendix here. It's going to have all the creature stuff here, again, listed for you. These tables that we've already told you about. And then there's going to be some notes on the Ultradimension, telling you a little bit more. They've got some really strong technology they bring along with them. And then more about the physical nature of how the Ultradimension infects and transform Ttrpg. Very cool information there, again, about their technology and kind of like what the TLs and the CMs are of them. And there's also a really cool stimulator, and the stimulator can pretty much jack up some of your stats, which is pretty neat too. So cool piece of art here. I take it this is the last battle, because you've got these columns, and you've got the water with the jail pool, and this guy here, Grack, is getting electrocuted. So that's what I assume that's what that is. So that is it. We're in the pack. So Incursion of the Ultradimension. That's the third. I'm keeping on, I'm going through all of them, as many as I can get a hold of. And I think it's a cool adventure. It's a really good dungeon crawl. It's got a story that's very easy to understand. It's not too complicated. And again, it gave me Half-Life vibes, but on a real more freakish level. It's got some good art. It's got a great map. This is kind of neat. This is going to kind of make people kind of wonder what's going on. And they're going to understand after a while that this place is, this dimension is changing. And if you fail, it's going to tell you that these guys are going to pretty much run rampant and kill a whole bunch of people on Ttrpg, and that's not going to be good. So there are a couple things you need to get to open up doors. That's kind of normal in Mutant Crawl Classics. A couple of comm badges and stuff like that for you to be able to open up stuff. Plenty of rooms to explore, and some nasty creatures involved in it as well. But yeah, it's not just 100% an AI rogue. A rogue AI, I should say, has run amok and is doing all this stuff. Even though you've got this hard light hologram here at the end. This is not the exact reason why this is happening, which is a theme that kind of goes on with a lot of Mutant Crawl Classics adventures. Is you've got a rogue AI they're the ones that's scheming. Well, this is not like that. This is the unfortunate messing around with some science back in the day, unleashing this terrible dimension on Ttrpg, and hopefully your player characters will stop them. So there it is, Incursion of the Ultradimension. I think it's a really cool adventure. Michael Curtis, of course, always brings it, and this one definitely shows it, his skills. So there it is. Stay tuned to the next one. Thanks.